Here we are then at the Circuit Paul Ricard in France, the 10th race of the 2020 Formula One season. And the standings are starting to take some kind of shape, Ant.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your big three jostling for position at the top, so no surprises there. A little less predictable in the midfield, though you could make an argument for Williams underperforming somewhat.
The two Williams drivers denying each other points, perhaps? Well, it's all to race for, and a lot of the season is left ahead of us. So let's see how it all pans out.
After the excitement, the drama, the hope of the first few races, it just disappeared after China. Like, it began in Spain, in Catalonia, then in Monaco, in Canada. It just stuck near the back. And then like it would continue in Paul Ricard. As Aiden struggled in qualifying to get a lap together, and Casper was a much better rider, getting through to Q2 but still just stuck in the lower half of the midfield. It didn't look like Sunday would change anything at all. But we had Aiden Jackson, and when he's fired up, when he's in a fighting mood, there's no one like him on the grid, and he showed that in spades during this race. He was overtaken in places where you wouldn't even dream of, like the final corner, and of course when you're not expecting something, there is no defense to it. And so he got to work right from the lights going out as he charged through the field towards the points playing places, battling with his old foes like the likes of Albon, who must get bored of seeing his white Williams in his wing mirrors as he charged down the inside of the Red Bull driver once again this season. And when he got behind Casper, yeah, maybe there'd be fireworks, but for once this season, you know, the tension was still there after China, but Casper was no match. He was in another gear compared to his teammate, and so he breezed by and just drove away from him. And that was the same for Devon Butler as well. Once again on the track, the cocky fellow countryman was nowhere near Aiden on a Sunday. And as he marched towards the points as well, with Casper struggling to even get close to and get towards those points, so he saw perhaps this coming out party in F1. Like, he had shown in previous races glimpses of it, like in Australia and in China, but it was always let down on the Saturdays. Qualifying wasn't good. He really struggled to get the maximum out of the car in qualifying when he needed to get the maximum out of it. On the Sunday, where you're kind of managing a bit more, preserving the tyres a bit more, that was more to Aiden's liking, at least at first in F1. And in this tight battle with the likes of Renault and McLaren and AlphaTauri and Ferrari in the midfield, like, we needed to step it up on Saturday to make Sundays much easier. Aiden was showing that Sundays were perhaps easy anyway. He was getting fastest laps as well. And after in Canada being right near the back, now we were right near the front. Pace was out of nowhere on the Sunday as he was battling his old rival Norris as well. You know, being quite robust, making some tough moves. But when you've got a raging ball in your hands, sometimes it's better to just get out of the way. Because I remember he is a rookie. Aiden is only a handful of races into his F1 career. He's going to be making mistakes, as you've already seen this season, and you know, that's led to his tension with Casper, and yeah, it's just uneasy in his rookie season. But he was making some great moves on not just the young guns, young comers like him, but also on multi-time world champions, which they could not defend at all, as he was pushing on towards the top 5 before the pit stops, and he was on a charge that no one was stopping. Not even the likes of Sainz, or there was a great train with him, with Leclerc, with Ricardo, with Kvyat as well, just behind that big three of Bottas, Hamilton and Verstappen. And Aiden, pace-wise, could have been part of that big three. Like, he could have been right up there with them if he just had his qualifying sorted out. That was a big issue. But as I said, he was his rookie year. He improved. He got better as it went on. And particularly, as I said, with this drive in France, it showed the quality that this Formula 2 champion had, that he hadn't really shown much of all the first half of his debut season in Formula 1, but he kind of transferred the pressure from himself to the team, and they had to, you know, make the pit stop go right, and the chance of big points as well. There's a great chance to drag ourselves back into that fight in the top 5 in the championship and take some points off the likes of AlphaTauri, who are just ahead of us. And of course, beating Renault on home turf, that would have been a big result as well for the team. And when he lined up Ricard, like, everyone was on their feet in the garage, kind of applauding. And, you know, he got rough with Ricciardo. Like, he got 2 drivers who just like to send it. And I still don't know to this day how he got away with it, but Jackson touch Ricciardo, maybe Ricciardo's making mistakes, and I think came the biggest mistake of the race, the pit limiter. For some reason it just did not work. He had to press every button on the wheel, but eventually Aiden got going, but he lost 15 seconds in the pit stops. He was 10 seconds behind Kvyat when he came out, and that dream of maybe even a podium battle had tipped away from him, even a top 5 as well. As now he's dancing again with the likes of Vettel, and had to get past this train to get up to that train, the top 5 of the likes of Sainz and Ricciardo and Kvyat as well. And he got to work. And so after he got past the 4-time world champion, he started again to put in those fastest laps, lap after lap, as he closed up that gap. And you saw quite a few midfielders as well, such as like Stroll and Giovinazzi. They dropped down, and he came out just inside the points playing places, did Aiden, but he was not going to be stopped today. And we do love a Jackson romp through the field. It did become a bit of his trademark in his debut season, as he battled with Albon and did I remember this dive he did on Ocon. Like, he was fully 2 or 3 car lengths back trying to get past Albon, but then Ocon just very slow on the apex, and Aiden just chucked it in there with no hesitation as he got past him, and he almost immediately got a slingshot on Norris on that very long back stretch, and then again he turned that into another 2-for-1 move, getting past Gasly at the same time. He was just cruising along his AlphaTauri, but again, no defense. Jackson setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and once again we're going to have a nervous ending to this race, in it, like, as he got past Leclerc to close the gap to the top 5 to the likes of Kvyat, and then Ricciardo as well, right up there. Well, Ricciardo would have been up there, wouldn't he, without Jackson hitting him. But yeah, he got past going to the top 5, and then he had Kvyat, a veteran driver, another driver getting a unusually high result as well for this season. And but once again, Jackson had that move into the final corner, and Kvyat could not stop him. And Jackson set his sights on the top 3. We told him to calm down a bit, like, just keeping a rhythm, but don't push too hard. And of course the rookie mistake came, and we thought it was maybe over for the top 5. Like, he had made a big mistake, the tyres were ruined, we thought that was it. He calmed down, they just settled for good valuable points for the team. But no, he pushed on again. As I said, today he was not going to be deterred at all. Right at the end of the race, he caught back up to Leclerc and Kvyat, who were battling each other. They perhaps not expected to see the Williams back with them again. But he sliced through in the last few corners when most drivers would be just cruising through, would be just thinking of getting it to the finish. But no, he was thinking about more. He was thinking about more points for the championship for the team. And okay, it was a bit harsh in the final corner, but it was a superb drive on the rookies, best so far.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Business as usual for the big three, but a bit of a reshuffle in the midfield here in France.
That's certainly much better from Williams. Frankly, they should be in the mix more often. On a good day, they're as good as anyone in that midfield pack.
And they've certainly proved it today.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
So, Aidan, it's a great result for you here today. The team must be delighted with a solid points finish. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. It's a solid result, but there's always room for improvement. I'm sure we'll be looking at all the data from today and working out how we can build on it for the rest of the season.
Well, it's such a great result, especially since it's your first season in Formula One. Would you say you found your feet now since the jump to F1?
I reckon so. I'd say the result today shows I can handle an F1 car just as well as an F2 one, no matter what people say. I think the team would agree with me.
So there's no current tensions within the team. We've all seen that you and Casper have locked horns so far this season. Is that something that's now behind you?
I think there's always going to be a settling in period. It doesn't matter who you're paired up with. You've got to have a strong character to do what we do. We may have our differences, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Brian.
Aidan, just so you know, there's a full team meeting in 20 minutes.
No worries.
We just want to review our strategy while the race is still fresh in our minds.
Right, okay. I'll see you there.
Listen, while you're on, I just wanted to say that was some solid driving out there today. I'm impressed.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Brian.
Put it this way, it's been noticed. Well done, kid. I'll see you in the meeting.
Hey, Ma.
Hello, love. Just calling to say well done, as usual. You okay?
Thanks, Mum. Yeah, I'm good. Real good. I think I delivered today.
I thought so. And I think the neighbors probably did too. I couldn't stop shouting.
Oh, not again.
I'm so proud of you, Aidan.
Hey, it's Silverstone soon.
So does that mean you'll be home for a few days?
Probably. I'll try and get over for a day or two, either side of race weekend.
You know, Silverstone was always your dad's favorite track.
I know. You're still coming to the race, right?
Do you really think I'd miss out on the VIP treatment? Of course I'm coming. I just wish it wasn't on my own, you know?
Yeah, I know, but I'll be there. And I can't wait to see you.
Me too. Anyway, I won't keep you. I imagine you want to go and celebrate. Well done again. Love you.
Love you too, Mum. Speak soon.